Welcome back to this special holiday episode of Holy Land Uncovered. We are here in the Old City of Jerusalem, and I'm very pleased to be joined now by Chaim Silverstein of Keep Jerusalem. Hello, and Chag Sameach to you.
Shalom, Emily. Chag Sameach to you.
So tell us, what is the foundation of Keep Jerusalem and why Jerusalem is so important?
Keep Jerusalem is an education and public diplomacy organization where we educate about Jerusalem, we advocate for a united Jerusalem, the center of the Jewish people, a city that represents importance for the three large religions of the world. And we mostly talk about Jerusalem as being the center and the heart of the Jewish people.
So explain the connection as we are, now during the Passover holiday. What is the connection specifically to Jerusalem in Passover?
So Passover is one of the three pilgrimage festivals. And during these pilgrimage festivals, thousands of years ago, when the Jews started their presence in the land of Israel after coming in from Egypt, they used to go up 3 times a year to the temple, to the great temple that existed just a few hundred yards from here, and they would sacrifice their sacrifices and pray to God in the holy temple. So Jerusalem was a location for the pilgrimage of hundreds of thousands of Jews during the Passover holiday, as well as Sukkot and Shavuot.
Now, in your experience, what is making this 2022 Passover, unique? We've obviously have been through several years of Corona. We're now seeing, what's happening in Ukraine. What are the intentions and the hopes we could wish for in this next year? Because we know Passover really is the beginning of the year. Technically, it's the beginning of the, the calendar, if you don't count Rosh Hashanah.
So I think one of the most important emphases of Passover is freedom, because it commemorates the freedom of the Jewish people from slavery. And freedom is not only a negative thing where you extract yourself from slavery, but it's also the way you express yourself in a free way. And I think that keeping Jerusalem united under Israeli sovereignty in a democratic country, enabling people of all religions and races and philosophies to express it in a free and democratic way, as is done in Jerusalem, is a wonderful thing, and I think that's one of the great expressions of Passover. At the same time, we see people, unfortunately, in the last few days and weeks, that are trying to suppress that freedom, trying to kill that freedom by carrying out terrorist incidents. We see not only in Jerusalem, in other cities in Israel, and I think that we should emphasize the importance of keeping Jerusalem as the capital of Israel united under Israeli democratic sovereignty, so that all of the Israelis, of the Arabs and the tourists that come, can feel free and secure in visiting here.
Right. Now, also freedom, when we're looking at the war in Ukraine, this is, at the end of the day, about freedom. It's making everybody around the world look at what does democracy mean, what, sometimes giving our lives to keep democracy or to fight for democracy. I guess, what could you say, an overall arching, message to everybody of all faiths, religions, and races that are watching right now about, the importance this Pesach to think about how we could pursue freedom of expression, freedom, however it may look to each person?
I think every Jewish family, almost every Jewish family, on Friday night is going to celebrate the Leila Seder, the Friday night commemoration of Passover. And at that Seder, we commemorate the freedom from slavery. And that is an eternal message, not only for the Jewish people, but for everybody. We see they have a Seder in the White House. We see we had a Seder for 70 ambassadors. I remember when Ambassador Danon was the ambassador to United Nations. So this is an eternal message that we should try and educate, first of all, ourselves, that we in Israel and the Jewish people have to be a free people in our own land, in our united capital. But I think it's a message that we can send to President Putin and to all the other free-loving people in the world, that you should not be subjugated. You should live in a democracy. At the same time, the Jewish people have every right to live in freedom and democracy in their own land, and certainly in the heart of their land, Jerusalem.
And what does Jerusalem resemble to you?
For me, Emily, Jerusalem is a meeting place. It is a place where we meet the past with the present. and the present with the future. It's a place where the Jewish people meet with their capital and their holy sites. It's a place where other religions meet their holy sites. It's a place where a Jew meets his God or her God at the core of this holy city, the Temple Mount. So for me, it's a meeting place. And when I see the prophets like Zechariah, who wrote that over 3,000 years ago, almost, that the old men and women will be sitting with their staffs in Jerusalem in an advanced age, and little children, boys and girls, will be playing in the streets of Jerusalem. To me, that's when I see it, and I just look around this old city and the city, and I see it actually happening today, thousands of years later. To me, that's the ultimate meeting of the past and the present.
Right.
And meeting the present and the future, that means the further realization of the prophets that Jerusalem will be a city of peace, and Jerusalem will be a city where all of the nation of Israel can come back and celebrate their pilgrimage festivals in hopefully the rebuilt temple, which will be a symbol of peace too. For me, that's what Jerusalem resembles. Today, unfortunately, we're having lots of obstacles in realizing those aspirations, but I think the Jewish people for thousands of years have aspired to it. And this Friday night, when we celebrated Passover, when we will celebrate Passover, depending on where you're holding now, everybody's going to finish that Seder evening by saying next year in Jerusalem. And in Israel, we say next year in rebuilt Jerusalem. And let us hope that that will come to realization in unity and in peace.
Chaim, thank you very, very much, and Hag Sameach, happy Passover, and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Elmi. Chag Sameach.
Hag Sameach, and a pleasure to meet you.